Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be all about press-on nails, and I already have a similar video here on the channel, but it's a few years old at this point. It was a complete rundown of the brands that I like, what I do to apply, get them to stay, remove them, like literally every detail. However, since then, I've discovered new brands to love, and I've also gotten a lot of questions from you guys in the meantime. Most recently on an Instagram post where I just explicitly asked, and a ton of you had great questions that I haven't answered before, either in that first video or in all the videos I've done since. I actually have an entire playlist of a bunch of other press-on nail adjacent videos, like tutorials, nail glue tips. You go watch it if you're interested in it, but long story short is there's a lot of stuff to cover that I haven't talked about already, and that's what this video is about. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, I want to talk about the two brands that I have been meaning to mention here on the channel. I've been going crazy about them over on Instagram. You can follow me there if you want like more frequent nail and makeup and just general peeks into normal life updates, I guess. You can go follow me there. But those brands are SuperDX. I'm actually wearing a set from them today. This is the style Twinkle Twinkle. They have a whole collection basically based on the nursery rhyme Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And the premise behind them is that they are these cool, faceted, like ridged, it just gives your nails a ton of texture. And so this is like a very subtle pearlescent. It's probably the most subtle shade amongst the whole Twinkle Twinkle collection. You can definitely go a little bit wilder with them, but I just love how subtle and yet dimensional and interesting these are. So SuperDX is a great brand, similar to Impress that I mentioned in my first video and just generally wear all the time. They do have adhesive pre-applied on the back. They are on the thicker side. I'll get more into nails that are like thin versus thick. These are a little bit more on the thicker side. They're more of that flexible plastic type texture, and they have a mix of nail shapes within their collection. So these are obviously closer to almond. I would say more so almond, less stiletto. And then they also have your classic kind of square or squoval cut in there too. They have the same lasting time as all the other nail brands and styles that I recommend. And for me, the baseline for a nail that lasts is a week. That said, I don't mind if like they start lifting here and there. I just pop a little bit of nail glue in there, glue it down, and it looks exactly like the day you first applied it. So as long as I can, that's all I have to do within that week and beyond, that to me is a good set of nails. And honestly, with that technique, I can get some nails to last like 2 weeks and they still look good as new. So just for your frame of reference, when I say long lasting, that is what I mean. Then the next set of nails that I love is from the brand Dashing Diva, and I cannot believe I've slept on these for so long. I only discovered them because I got a PR box from Sally Beauty, and in it, amongst a lot of other stuff that they sent, was a brand of press-on nails that I'd never heard of before. Just like SuperDX and Impress, they have the adhesive applied to the back. So again, they're kind of that thicker, more plasticky feeling texture, but there's so many different cool designs, gems they have on some of them, textures, just a really cool press-on nail line, and they're super easy to find at Sally Beauty. You can order them online, but after trying my first pair from them, I went to Sally's and I picked up like maybe 5 or 6 other pairs. I actually don't even have one to hold up in front of the camera because I realized I had worn them all. So I will be flashing up some of the pairs that I've shown on Instagram just so you can get an idea of the shades and styles that they have. But again, just like the SuperDX and all the other nail patterns, styles, brands that I like to wear, they last a long time too. While we're on the topic, this I have mentioned a lot before, but the absolute key for me to getting the nails that have the adhesive pre-applied on the back to last is to prep my nails with nail polish remover. Not even this one specifically, just nail polish remover in general. I think pretty much all of these come with their own alcohol swab, but honestly, anytime I have used that and only that, my nails fall off pretty stinking quickly. I think it's just not as good at removing any natural oils or dirt or whatever it is that hangs out on your nails. It's just not as good at removing all of that as a nail polish remover. And so with this, I find that it makes an even cleaner canvas for that adhesive to apply to. And that is what makes my nails last as long as they can. Alrighty, now I'm going to get into answering some of your questions. The first of which brand is thinner / more flexible? And what I have found overall across all the brands that I have tried is there are just 2 categories. There are some with the adhesive pre-applied, which I absolutely love for a fast, long-lasting application. However, every single one that I have tried is on the thicker side. They're a thicker, softer kind of plastic, and I'm not sure if that's to do with the manufacturing, like that's just what's required to have a nail with the adhesive on the back, but that is what I found. And so if thin is your issue and a more rigid nail is your issue, you're probably gonna have to stay clear of all of those with the adhesive pre-applied. However, there are some amazing nails that I love, have recommended them in the past, and even more to talk about here today, that you can go to if you want something that's a little bit thinner, and as a result will kind of hug the nail a little bit tighter. First of which is Static Nails. They make some of the best pre-painted nails out there. They also have a wide variety of styles, finishes, lots of matte. Some of my favorite nails from them, I'll flash them up here on the screen, are these gorgeous matte coffin nails. I've tried them in blushes and deep navies and deep plums. They're just so gorgeous. And because they're so thin, they feel like your natural nail. It's crazy. They are, however, a little bit on the more expensive side. And so if you're looking at those like, I don't really care about the specialized shape, I don't care about the nail art, I actually stumbled across the cheapest nails you will ever find on Amazon. I have a video on these too, but just for the sake of mentioning them here, these are just some like press-ons that I found on Amazon. Super thin. They actually feel very similar to the Static Nails. And they also have the pattern, like the coffin shape. So these are stilettos, they have coffin, they also have different colors and opacities. If you want like basically a French tip white, they have those. These are more of a natural kind of off-white yellow. And then they also have clear if you want to do a really cool geometric clear, like just go to Pinterest and look for clear nail and you'll see what I'm talking about. But they have a ton of flexibility, and this was literally less than 10 bucks, maybe even less than 5, I can't even remember. It's so affordable, and you get how many nails? Maybe 100. It's crazy. This is also probably a good time to talk about reapplication. A couple of you guys had questions about what to do if your nail pops off, and for me it varies again by those types of nails. So for those with the adhesive pre-applied, there really is no popping off for me. More often than not, what will happen is it starts to lift around my cuticle, and from there I'll just take a small nail glue. There's actually a precision nail glue out there with a super long tip in the event that you just want a teeny tiny little bit in a very specific area. That's great for this, and I just pop it in there, put a little bit in there, and then it's good to go. Otherwise, if it is time for those with adhesive pre-applied to come off, they're pretty much done. They're not really reusable because that adhesive tends to get clumpy and misshapen and uneven under there. It doesn't make for a great platform for the nail to lay over. And additionally, depending on the style of your nail, they can get warped because there's really interesting like thicker plastic and they just don't look right. So long story short, don't think you can reuse the ones with the adhesive pre-applied. However, if you're talking about static nails, those are actually meant. The brand says they are reusable, and for the most part, I find that to be the case unless they crack. They are so thin that sometimes during removal, I will find that I pull too hard, and because they're just so thin, they split, they crack, they do whatever. It doesn't hurt me at all. It just prevents me from using them over again. And the same is true for these. Again, just because they're so thin and somewhat rigid, once you get them off, you can just rub it with some nail polish remover to remove that excess glue and then go in and reapply. The next question is all about whether you can paint them. Can you? Should you? How long does it last? And basically the answer is yes, and a pretty good amount of time. I've actually even done a nail art tutorial with press-on nails here. It's probably a good time to bring it back up again because it was like very fall and winter themed. It was painting gold foil over these gorgeous burgundy impress nails. They were a glossy finish, so it's not like they were matte or anything. And yeah, I just put the foil on, painted over the top, and they looked great. I mean, for much longer than nail polish would normally last on my nails. Part of the reason I wear press-ons is because nail polish just chips or flakes or gets messed up immediately on me. So they certainly lasted longer on the fake nails than they did on my real nails. And also a hot tip, if you find that you are wearing some, especially this happens to me more so with Impress, if you find that you're wearing a matte style that kind of looks rough around the edges, or the matte finish has just come off for one reason or another because you've been cleaning or just the normal wear and tear that you get with nails, what I love doing is putting on a clear coat of nail polish and making it a glossy finish. Yes, you lose the matte shine, but it basically like makes them a whole new nail so that you can continue wearing them if you're not ready to take them off, and you just have this gorgeous glossy finish. So hot tip. Okay, next questions. Can you use cuticle glue? I do not recommend it. I find that especially will help them start lifting earlier around the bed of your cuticle. But if you very carefully apply like a lotion around your nails, I don't recommend it frequently because just honestly any sort of oil-based or rich sort of moisturizer you put around there is going to affect the adhesive as it gets under the nail. But if you need to or want to, I would definitely recommend going with a lighter lotion as opposed to a full-on cuticle oil. Next question, and this is actually one I've gotten a few different times that I honestly don't have a great answer for. for. It is how to prevent your hair from getting stuck under your cuticles. For those of you who might not have encountered this or haven't tried press-on nails yet, one thing you might find, especially with those nails that have the adhesive pre-applied, is that as you run your fingers through your hair, as you're styling your hair in the morning, if you have any sort of lift whatsoever, and I find it happens fastest around the cuticles, you'll find that your hair will get stuck in it and it'll either lift your nail more or it'll pull your hair more, and it's just not fun for everyone. Like I said, I don't have a great fix for it. I find I just have to be really, really diligent about spotting when my nails kind of come loose and really just spot gluing them as I find it. But interestingly enough, shortly after I posted the picture where a lot of you guys had asked these questions, Impress shared an Instagram story specifically about this, and they said that if you push your cuticles back first, and I think their nails actually come with a cuticle pusher as well, but they recommended pushing your cuticles back before application and then applying the nail like basically up against / under where your cuticle would go, which I would imagine not only prevent the lifting and or at least prolong the lifting and getting your hair stuck under there, but it also help prolong your manicure as well, because the farther back you can stick them, the more outgrowth you get as your nails grow, which would be great if you find that you have nails that grow out super fast. Next, there are a few questions about fit. Some people saying that they need petite nails, some people saying that they need nails for wider nail beds. And without knowing what you have tried before, it's kind of hard to make a recommendation. I personally think, especially on my thumbs, have pretty wide nail beds, and all of the brands that I've mentioned today and otherwise fit me just fine. For petite nails, it's also hard for me to make a recommendation because I don't personally have petite nails. However, my sister, tiny hands, and it's kind of funny, the last set of nails I got when I was with her, she really liked them and was like, why don't I just see if the nails that I don't use, if she could use them? And it turns out we were able to get 2 manicures out of one of these nail kits. Like, there were so many nails available, so many sizes available, that she was able to do that. So I guess to answer that question, I would just recommend that you really look to the smaller nails within like regular sized nail packets, or go for the petite nails. I don't think Impress has petite press-ons with the adhesive pre-applied, but I do know they have some in their line that just requires regular nail glue. I think if they're called gel effects or gel something or other. I'll put the full name in the description bar below, but I have tried those and I do like them. But when it comes, they're a little on the thicker side though, is why I tend to prefer something like these from Amazon or Static Nails, is just because those from Kiss still tend to be on the thicker side. And if I'm gonna wear a thicker nail, I'll tend to go with the Impress. All right, last question, and that is, do I feel like my nails are thinner after wearing them? Not after like a single use, but after like repeat back-to-back use. I have found that in the past. What happens is I'll take them off and I'll find that it's almost as if the adhesive is taken off really thin layers of my nails, and they'll just have these kind of ridges going in the opposite direction of what your typical nail ridge would look like. And so I found what really helps with that is buffing my nails before I apply the press-on, and it just gives the adhesive less of my ridges to sink it, like adhere to and kind of like get all intimate with, because I think when I'm pulling my nail off, they're so connected to those weaker ridges that that's what ends up pulling them off. So just buffing my nails, getting rid of some of those ridges has really, really helped with that. And then also just going a few days without, I'll notice my nails start to firm up a lot. Really within like a day of having them off, my nails will be back to their like normal solid state. I don't know why they're so much softer after I remove them. So that's mostly been my experience with any thinness or breakage that happens because of press-on nails. And that's pretty much it for me and my press-on nail update. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I really tried to get through all of your questions and then just get everything out of my head that I've been meaning to share since that last video. But like I said, if I didn't, please ask your questions in the comments below and I will try and get to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!